shit. I'm gonna have to go live, like. I hope y'all understand, like. Let me wait for you to turn up, like. This is very important, like. It's for all the TIs and yeah. Now it has come to my attention. You can play back the video, rewind it, see what I was talking about. It's come to my attention that people do get affected when I'm having my meditation sessions. So I would like to discuss how to keep yourself safe during my meditation sessions. This would have been an ideal way of getting accustomed to to the whole process, because at the end of the day, it's a defense. Basically, I'm a targeted individual like you, and this means by the time we get to 9 o'clock, hopefully I would have explained everything, because this is scheduled to start at 9, so maybe more people will come, maybe not. I'm not really sure. So I'm having to kind of do it semi-retrospectively. Caught me off guard. Didn't even have time. Thank you, Donna. Thank you for following me. Basically, I'm gonna be repeating this because, like, we kind of had to wait for viewers, but it's kind of urgent, because when you look at the current situation, we're under attack, and the current situation is a global crisis. So I'm having to defend myself. What I'm kind of trying to get at, it's not really. It kind of like encompasses all the different targeting techniques that we're subjected to. So, but you need to kind of like. Well, I'm going to touch on things like remote viewing and astral projection. Those are spiritual things, because if something's not physical and you know it exists, that's spiritual, which means your consciousness is a spiritual thing. It's a spiritual form. So anything that involves targeting with conscious to consciousness, what do you call it? I wouldn't call it voice to skull as such. I'll call it mind to mind, if you like, or consciousness to consciousness interactions. It's a bit like if you have a remote viewer who sees into the location where you are and uses the information that you have there, conveys it to other people, and they use it to power up you. It's a bit, that's the closest thing you can have to explaining what I mean. Now, I don't know if our governments, they spend billions on remote viewing. I don't know if they understand how it works, but I'm a scientist, also philosopher, and also a targeted individual. So when I'm being remote viewed, I know how to get the evidence for that. Yeah. Now, if somebody was viewing into this room right now using remote viewing, yeah, and there's somebody who was targeting me, I could do something really disgusting right now. Yeah. And then when I go outside, if anybody starts telling me you should stop doing that, and they're discussing, and they make it known to me that they're discussing what I was doing a while ago in this space here, That's how I know that that's the person who was remote viewing me. Now, when it comes to remote viewing, it involves consciousness to consciousness interactions. Yeah. So when you have consciousness to consciousness, think about voice to skull. You have some electromagnetic based device that projects a frequency that then resonates, yeah, into penetrates your skull and resonates into your consciousness, yeah, like a voice of God weapon, yeah, like even radar. You stand next to radar, you start to hear the ping, 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 yeah. So that's voice to skull, yeah. Now just imagine somebody takes his consciousness into your space, yeah. The way that works, somebody takes your consciousness, attaches himself, because you're the only one in this space. Yeah, you're the only one who's what we call the ultimate viewer, or the viewer. Yeah, you're the only one who's seeing what's in this space. Quantum physics tells you that if there's no one there to see what's in that space, it doesn't exist. Yeah. Oh, if you got loud ringing, yeah. In fact, let me use you to kind of help me with this. The loud ringing might be coming. I've been doing a lot of meditation. Um, is that better, Donna? How's that? What's that sounding like? Let me try and fix the mic. There, oh dear. Is that better? Is it too low now? I'm not quite sure how to fix that. Sorry about that. Um, I've been doing quite a lot of meditation. If you look at my videos, they're normally titled Experimental Data. I have a whole playlist called Experimental Data. When I meditate, the electronic devices, yes, I'm making some kind of high-pitched ringing sound. I'm not sure why that would be. It's let me see if I can fix that. Okay. How do I sound now, Donna? How am I sounding now? Is that better? From your the subject. So anyway, if you look at my playlist called Experimental Data, yeah. Oh right. Okay. I get you now. Oh yes. Okay. So since you're here, Donna, this ringing sound that you do get, yeah, is it happening now? Yeah. And let me see if I can. It is happening now. All right. Because you see, the parameters for what I do are a bit hard to understand, because obviously, a little background. I left my church because I disagreed with the interpretation that they were giving for scripture, which means I'm out there to be attacked by any demon that wants. So I've had to learn how to do exorcisms from fundamental level. So I've noticed that I have a power, a meditation based power, yeah, that I use, yeah. Yeah, I'm coming to the high pitch ringing, which is something that I kind of yes, yeah, you're getting tinnitus, yeah, uh-huh, yeah. You see, this is kind of why this is a and advice, because you know, like I was saying, if you look at my video, experimental data, my playlist, sorry, yeah, every time I meditate, it seems to affect electronic devices and people. The people that I'm targeting are those who are remote viewing me, yeah, because I do not consent to being remote viewed, but I might have inadvertently targeted other people as a result. And it's quite simple. If you're not remote viewing me, I can't affect you. And I wouldn't have thought that you're remote viewing me. So the ringing in your ears might be, I'm not really sure what that could be. It sounds like you are being targeted with some kind of voice to skull, or a direct energy weapon. Yeah, to me, that's what it sounds like. Yeah. So in that case, there's one or two things it could be. It could be a direct energy weapon, or your mind might be channeling, tapping into things that it shouldn't be, or that are new to it and it's not accustomed to. What makes your mind do that? That's another issue. That's where they might have attacked you with a direct energy weapon and it caused your consciousness to, as it tried to normalize with that, it causes the sound in your head. Yeah. To treat that, you have to, how do I put it? You're gonna have to condition yourself or program yourself, yeah, not to be sensitive to that sound. Yeah, that's why I was going into my religious affiliation or lack of affiliation. Yeah. Um, hmm. What do you mean you've been hit by cars? Like physically hit by cars or hit by directed energy weapons coming from cars? Yeah. I'm not quite getting you there. Have you been actually hit by speeding cars, physically hit by cars, or direct energy weapons coming from cars? Yeah, so please explain that. That's a bit worrying. If you have been hit by cars 10 times, then that's some serious targeting you got there. Yeah. And we'll have to discuss how to keep yourself safe from that, you know. What, straight up, like hit you 10 times, like 10 different cars hitting you. Mm. All right. All right. That's very, very severe targeting. And Donna, let me ask, do you have anyone in your friends and family circles that, oh, holy shit, 45 to 65 miles an hour. My. Mm. Donna, I would like to know a bit more about that, because that is very, very severe. And of course, I'm sure they make it look like it's an accident, like um, it's just one of those things that happens to people. Mm. You could start off by recording yourself every time you're out and about and start to collect information. Like, record yourself every time you're on the street. Don't you have this GoPro thing or whatever? Just record your street journeys, and at the end of the day, just go through them to see any signs of what might be coming up ahead. what might be coming ahead. That is very, very severe. Dear, oh dear. You need to start collecting information, what we call evidence. Every journey you take, yeah. Wow, 4 vehicles stolen from you. Have you installed any security systems? You must record yourself when you're out. Every time you're in front of people, you must record yourself every time. And at the end of the day, review the footage to see any funny behavior from anyone around you. Just note it down. Do not do anything. Just review the footage every time you're out and about. You must record your journeys. You must record what you're looking at. You know what I mean? Yeah, because you're gonna miss it. You obviously can't say it. You must record what you're looking at. Mm. That is very, very severe. Hmm. Yeah, about the false reporting. Yeah, there's a lot of secret societies. Um, I mean, let me get this straight, Donna. Uh-huh. Yeah, that's it. All that is information. All that is information. That's how you deal with false reports. At least you nip that in the bud. You know what I mean? So every time something like that develops, at least you can protect yourself now because you've got evidence wherever you go. So I want to get this straight. The only people you interact with are the people at your workplace. Is that right? Getting live camera, GoPro. You can Google that. I think it's called GoPro. I'm not really into it, but when I do get into it, I'm an expert in technology when I get into it, but I don't get into it anymore because I'm on the spiritual thing now. Mhm. All right. At least that's a start. Now, anything that does develop, you can go back through your videos and to see you can see it developing. Yeah. If you suspect that it happened last week, Monday, you can start from there and look at every video and you can at least that's a start. Yeah. That's a very good start. But I just want to know, are the only people you interact with the people at your workplace? Yeah. Mm, mm. Mhm. Okay, so you appear to have had some kind of implant or something. Is it an implant? That is very, very severe targeting. Hmm. Okay. And see, this is why I always tell people that only go to your doctors as a last resort. Yeah, I haven't seen those people, um, my general practitioner, for years now, coming up to 5 years. Last time I tried to see him was for a common cold, and it was ducking me as well. By the time I booked an appointment to see him, the cold had gone. So, so I don't really see those. It's not funny though. I'm not laughing at your situation. Yeah. So basically, you seem to be doing everything right. Yeah. But you got the GoPro. Just keep recording it. As long as they know you've got that, they they will have, that's a deterrence. Yeah. So just know that everyone in the targeted individual community is in that situation. Yeah. I mean, this targeting goes deep. Like they target every aspect of your life. Yeah. Financially, relationship wise, every aspect of it. We all have the same problem, but yours is a very, very severe case. Very, very severe. Yeah. I think because they think you're weak. That's why they try to do that. But you've got a camera now, yeah, and that can't make you weak. You can't be weak if you're recording it. It's a deterrence. They'll have to be more careful. They can't just be too open. When was the last time that they ran you over with a car? Hmm? That is ridiculous. To all my viewers, I'm talking to the live chat. Um, uh, I'm responding to the live chats now. Yeah, that is weird. Weird. Yeah. So as I'm responding to you, Donna, I'll cover the subject that I came in to talk about. Yeah, it's a very, very severe case of targeting there. Very severe. So, Donna, can you walk? Are you disabled as in you're paraplegic or quadriplegic or something? Can you go out and about? Or do you need a wheelchair for that? So I'm trying to get at. Because the show must go on. Life goes on, you know? Yeah. It's just, this is really, really unlucky. It's like most people don't believe, yeah, in the things we say, and they end up getting targeted severely. And even if you do believe in what the things that we are saying, you still end up getting targeted severely. Yeah. But I'm watching your live chats. Yeah. Do you ever go out to the shops and things like that? So, um, how to keep yourself safe through my meditation? and I'm referring people to my experimental data playlist. If you go on my channel, there's a playlist called experimental data where I appear to be affecting uh, my device or PC as I'm meditating, and I've seen evidence that I can affect um, remote viewers when I'm meditating as they're viewing. Yeah. Now the ability to remote view is still a mystery to me. I'm not really sure if it's an innate ability that we all have. Yeah. Mhm. Um, I'll also be keeping an eye on Donna's case. Yeah, so I'm not sure if it's an innate ability that we all have. If it does turn out to be an innate ability, that as in we all do it, yeah, I just wanted to make sure that I don't target the targeted individuals, because you are not my target. I'm a target. The thing that's happening in my life, I get remote viewed, and everything that I do in my private space is being broadcast to members of the public. Yeah, I don't mean this in a way that someone with mental illness will mean. I mean it in a way that a scientist will mean it, as in I can deliberately do something in my personal space, yeah, and then go outside and see it being discussed, yeah, where the only way someone could have seen that, yeah, is if they are watching through my mind. I can start thinking something in my head right now and then go outside and have it being discussed, yeah, by normal people, people you wouldn't expect to be able to afford these direct energy weapons, yeah, or voice to scar weapons. People who wouldn't have the money to buy anything like that, yeah. Mhm. So what I wanted to do is let targeted individuals know that if you do get affected by me meditating, it's not directed at you. Yeah, the reason why I had to become a church is because just in case it's an innate ability, something that the Almighty gave you, then I have to approach things different. Because when I get attacked that way, where the slander that I go through involves people using my private thoughts for point scoring, yeah, I will react. Yeah, I will do things in my head, yeah, to neutralize anyone's consciousness, yeah, that goes in there, yeah. Now when I'm doing that, I don't expect to find targeted individuals getting caught up in that. But then if it's a natural um property of consciousness, yeah, the ability to remote view, then of course I have to teach uh, uh, targeted individuals, or to kind of liaise with targeted individuals on how to keep yourself safe. Because this, what I'm doing is ultimately is to end the targeting, is to end all that. Yeah. Now, what I was saying before in the beginning of this stream is that I've seen remote viewers, yeah, experiencing all manner of things. I would feel as if my consciousness is being read and viewed, yeah, as if memories are starting to be evoked without me evoking them, like somebody's running through my past thoughts, yeah, scanning me, yeah, with their thoughts. That's when I start the meditation. And every time I do that, I start to see, I'll see someone convulsing. So obviously, as a scientist, I deduce deductive reasoning that that must be the one who was scanning me. Yeah. Now, that's not the people who do this are common folk. Yeah. People you don't expect to be able to afford direct energy weapons to be using things like voice to skull, because those things are expensive. Yeah. I would imagine they cost millions. Yeah. They don't just give out the voice of God weapon to just anybody, any common person. Yeah. You got to pay money for that, and you got to be part of the in crowd. But you're talking about normal human beings here. Yeah. So I wanted to. This is like a public notice or awareness message. When I am meditating, how do you protect yourself during those moments? And how do you identify when it's me from when it's the direct energy weapons? Because I put all of this in my music, man. Yeah. Because there's gonna be two types of things that affect you if you have an innate or inbuilt ability to see to be privy to other people's consciousness. There's gonna be direct energy weapons, yeah, that will be projecting messages into your head, yeah, and there's gonna, I don't know, but just in case it is, just in case I am affecting you inadvertently, I've got to let you know, yeah, I've got to let you know in a reasonable and scientific way, because that's all I know, yeah. So I would imagine that if you're convulsing when I do that, you shouldn't be operating machinery. Health and safety. Don't operate machinery. If you're doing something that requires precision, don't do that at the time. Yeah. And if you're in the process of doing something that will need you to have a steady hand, I wouldn't be doing that at the time. Because when I feel attacked, yeah, when I feel like I'm being scanned, I'm going to protect myself. It's not aimed at you. There's 10 minutes to go to 9, and this is when it was scheduled to start. So when we get to that point, I will start. Yeah, I will meditate in one of the ways that I've scientifically deduced is effective. And those of you who are watching, yeah, you can use in the chat. Tell me if you feel any effect from it. All right. Oh, Donna, yeah, that's a good question. Yeah. How do you know this is how no, how do you know this? How do you know you're being broadcasted? You know when you're doing something, like let's say I'm reading something, and then you start to feel as if somebody is going through previous memories of yours. If this happens to you, you get that feeling, yeah? You start to feel as if somebody is developing a feeling. Okay, you know, if you're cooking, let's say, I use this in a video. If you're cooking, yeah, and you want to put an ingredient into your food, yeah, and then all of a sudden you start to feel as if your best friend might laugh at you for doing that, yeah, but you start to get this feeling that your best friend will know, but how would they know if you don't tell them? Yeah, you start to get this feeling that your best friend would laugh at what you, let's say you're cooking food for yourself, you're not going to tell anybody what you ate, yeah, but then you start to get this feeling that you shouldn't use that ingredient because it's not cool or something, and your best friend will laugh at you. How would it see when you get that feeling? Yeah, it's what's the word? It's irrational. Yeah, but you feel as if your best friend is watching and they might ridicule what you're doing. It's a feeling like that. You feel as if somebody's judging you on a past event that you only did in your mind. Yeah. What I mean by this, I could think something that I know will upset everyone. Yeah. And then the first person in my head that I think will be upset, that's a person of interest. Yeah. And then if I do meet them at a later date and they do act like they're upset about something, and I start probing them and it turns out to be what I thought in my head that I haven't told them, that's evidence that I know that my thoughts being broadcast. Yeah. They did try to section me once. Yeah. Where I failed the psychological evaluation test. Yeah. And I told the psychologist, that I'm into investigating this kind of stuff. Yeah. And I told him that I can prove to you, yeah, that you're privy to my thoughts. So I thought something disgusting about him. I waited a few seconds, yeah, and he got irate. But he was a good man, yeah. He was a good man, and I appreciate him. As soon as he did that, he realized what I was telling him. Yeah, he was about to attack me, and then he stopped in his tracks. That's when he knew that I'm not crazy. So he recommended that I look for a parapsychologist or people who investigate these noetic sciences and explain to them my experiment. Yeah, but they refused. I submitted a synopsis, and they said that my aims are not in line with theirs. I'm trying to defend people's minds, and if that's not in line with their objectives, I don't want to be part of that. I don't want to find out how to compromise people. I want to develop weapons that people can use to defend themselves against being read, being scanned. Yeah. If that's not in line with what you're doing, I don't want to be part of that. That's why I'm not doing this at a professional level. Now, where was that? Yeah. Anyway, that ties into it. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, Don, I hope that answers your question. That's how I know that I'm being targeted, that I'm being scanned. Yeah. So I just wanted targeted individuals to stay safe during these moments, to know that there's light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah. If you do ever feel anything when I am meditating, yeah, just know that I'm not trying to do anything to you. And at that time, yeah, the best thing for you to do, if it is something that is beyond your control, you can't stop yourself from doing, yeah, you can't stop yourself from seeing into my thoughts. If that's the situation, the best thing to do, yeah, because I'm under attack at that time, yeah, and I'm like America, yeah. If I'm going out, I'm gonna drop the nuke. That's a kind of phrase. I don't obviously have a nuclear bomb. Yeah. So I'm like that at that time. I feel like I'm going out. Yeah. And if I feel like I'm going out, I couldn't care less about this world. I'll take everybody out. I'll make her stink before I go out. Yeah. So I'm not gonna stop defending. I'm not gonna stop meditating. Yeah. So you have to learn how to cope during those moments. Yeah. Things like I said, if you're operating machinery that needs your hand to be steady, it's best not to do that. Yeah. And in terms of broadcasting, I was wondering, yeah, how far from me do people have to be, yeah, before they lose the ability to see what I'm thinking in my mind? Yeah. Now, Donna, since you're there, we could try it out. Yeah. But remember, I'm just trying this out. Yeah. I don't mean anything to offend you. So it's about your honesty. If I think something, yeah, let me know if you're affected by it. I just thought something. Now wait a few seconds. It's an experiment. I'm always experimenting. Yeah. If you get something, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. All right. Oh yeah. Jesus Christ is very important. No, the true Christ. Yeah. The true Christ. Not the one we've been told, but the one that's actually true. Yeah. It's the one that's with the Holy Ghost. He the nature of Christ after his death and the definition of life and consciousness. Um, Once you figure out what Christ is, you can figure out what's governing the universe. What Christ has become. Now, Donna, if you did pick up something, I was only doing that as an experiment. I don't actually mean that, but that's what I'm talking about. Now, some people, yeah, see my thoughts and they use it to score points. Yeah. So it's reached 9 o'clock now. Yeah. I'm gonna start meditating in my head now. Yeah. And let me know if you feel your condition getting worse, getting better. If you feel an added noise in your head or anything like that. Yeah. Let me see. What can I use? What can I use? I'm gonna use one of the different. There's like an infinite number of ways I can do this. Yeah, I'm gonna do it in one way. Yeah, that I know. Yeah. Right. Hold on. They even use butterflies to perpetrate against us. Anyway, let's go. 4, 3, 2, 1. I'll do this for 10 minutes. It's all in my head. Now, if there's anyone going through there, they'll be experiencing an energy burst. It should take a few seconds to get to you if you're feeling that. If you are going through my head right now, you feel an energy burst. I've seen them convulsing when I do this. I do it for 10 minutes. I can do this and get on with other tasks in my life because it's all in my head. When I'm being scanned, I just do this. If you do start convulsing, do tell me. This is what I mean. I'm not parping you, I'm defending myself. And it's for the good of mankind. And Christ is very important. He's the only thing that can save everybody. I do it for 10 minutes. Then let me know. Right now, I'm meditating in my mind. My meditation is different. Okay? It's not normal. I'm not chanting, I'm not doing ohms and things like that. Yeah, it's brand new. It's an anomaly. Hmm? An anomalous phenomenon. I don't even know how I do it. The ability to do it came to me from a dream. I just woke up knowing how to do it. I don't know how. So if you do sense something, this is what I'm talking about. How to stay safe when I'm doing this. The timer on my laptop starts to freeze when I'm doing this. People who are scanning my mind start to convulse when I'm doing this. I don't know how far from me you have to be before that effect stops reaching you. I'm still investigating it, and that's one of the questions I'm asking as a scientist. Because if you're 10,000 miles away from me, then it's closer to the International Space Station to me than it is from where you are. Which means even people in space can sense me doing this. As a scientist, using deductive reasoning, you have to say that. That will open up a whole different kind of possibilities, if that's true. That's what I have to find out. I can meditate and do other things at the same time. So it's no skin off my back. It's not that much effort. It hurts me to do this to myself, but not to sit there in a trance and do it. I'm glad you're not being affected adversely, Donna. That's a positive result. How long has it been now? 5 minutes. But there is a delay because the farther away from you are, the longer it takes to get to you. I've had people flying in from Southeast Asia to come and complain about what I thought in my head. It's serious stuff. time starts to flow funny as well. Keep an eye on your timekeeping devices. I just want to know what my coverage is as a scientist. How far from location 0, where I'm at, can people sense my presence? How about Jesus Christ turning up as well? The Almighty Lord himself turned up. Where when you're having thoughts about Christ, okay, he reminds you of the Lord. And as soon as you start having thoughts about the Lord, the thoughts of Christ and the manifestation, the synchronicities of Christ starts to disappear, and the ones of the Lord appear. And then when you go back, the ones of the Lord disappear. And so they're in a, I wouldn't say triune, but seems to be one and the same thing if you use deductive reasoning. As it is impossible to see both of them standing there at the same time, which would imply that one is the other, but I'm still investigating it. Mhm. Oh, Donna, you do feel it. Now, how is it making you feel? Mhm. Remember, I want positivity to be sent out there. I'm trying to free us from this harassment. Yeah. Remote viewing is dangerous. It works. Yeah. It works, and people are using it on us. Point scoring. They're slandering us, destroying our reputations. You bet. Like sometimes I think things in my head, but I wouldn't tell them to anyone. I'm keeping it to myself, and somebody uses them to score points. Yeah. So I don't like being scammed. Whenever I feel that happening, yeah, I don't care if it's friend, family, foe, whatever. I like, yeah, that I do not like, yeah. It's written in Leviticus. Do not allow yourself to be a medium to familiar spirits. It's an energy from us. I don't know how I'm doing it. I do not. I just woke up one day and I could do it. I don't know how or why I'm doing it. Yeah. And then Yahweh appears to me, and then Christ. So I don't know I don't know what's going on. Yeah. But I was just told to do this, and everything else they'll take care of that. I was just told to do this. Do not allow yourself to be a medium for familiar spirits. A familiar spirit is, like I said, anyone you think might object to what you're doing when you're in an enclosed space when they're not there. That's a spirit. It could be a friend, family. That's a spirit. If people start to make you think that they won't like what you're doing in your head, then you've become a medium to them. The Almighty says that in Leviticus, do not allow that to happen. So whenever I feel like I'm being scanned, I start disrupting it with my meditation. You're right, Donna, it's an energy we have. But that's 10 minutes up. So there wasn't that many people watching at this time. But as I did that, those of you who are watching, if you did sense something, I don't know if it's to do with the way you feel that determines what kind of reactions you get. But I just had to to let you know that when you do feel that, yeah, it's a spiritual fight going on. Yeah, it's a spiritual fight. I'm fighting people who are scanning our minds with their minds. Yeah, that's also perpetration that's happening. That we really need to pay attention to, because when they do destroy your reputation, they can see all your plans. Your plans you keep in your mind. Just imagine you're planning, yeah, and it happens all the time. Let's say you're planning to go outside. As soon as you plan that, somebody switches on harp. Yeah, you go outside and the weather's different. They're freezing your balls off. Yeah, want you to freeze until you die. Yeah, or you say I'm planning to go see an acquaintance of mine. Yeah, and they can see the plan with remote viewing from your mind. Yeah, and somebody calls up the acquaintance and he or she is not there when you arrive. Yeah, targeting of this kind is very disruptive to our lives. Yeah, so when somebody comes into your mind, try and say, even if it's a friend or family that you have, you do not tolerate anyone going through your mind. Yeah, because if it's a family friend or stranger, if they're in your mind, they're in spiritual form. Those are the familiar spirits. Yeah, we're all familiar spirits to each other. Yeah, so do not become a medium to familiar spirits. Means do not let them dictate what you should like and not like, what you should do and not do. It's the Almighty who's supposed to do that. They start off by scanning you, then they start to make themselves feel like they object to that. They start to make themselves feel like, I don't like you doing that. Don't tolerate that in your mind. So as soon as the scanning begins, I start meditating hard. Yeah. Other people who are watching might get caught up in that. Yeah. So that's why I had to put out this public notice. Yeah. To say, if I am affecting, if you do get affected like that, there is a spiritual war going on. Yeah. And that's why I'm doing that. Just know that it's gospel. Yeah. Christ has come. Yeah. And we're his soldiers and that. Yeah. If Jesus says peace, then I'll let it be. If he says war, then count me in. Yeah. But the war is not going to be based on the material and the physical kind. Yeah. It's going to be purely spiritual with weapons like that. Weapons of our mind. Yeah. So some of us will be waking up with weapons in our mind. If you use it for Christ, yeah, then you're the right kind. Yeah. So I've been instructed to clear my mind of any familiar spirit. And that's what I'm doing now. If you're a TI, if it's a natural thing for you to see into my mind, yeah, and it's nothing you can do anything about, yeah, then at least Christ has come. That's why I'm being like this. If I didn't give a damn that way, I wouldn't even bother talking to you. I'll just say, fuck that. That's not my business. But I took time out of my schedule of destroying these perps to talk to you, because I realized that TIs are just human beings. Any human being gets affected like that. Yeah. So that's why I did this stream, to try and let you know that if you do sense anything from me, yeah, it's because there's a spiritual war going on. Yeah. And it has to be done. Yeah. They're acting like they're the most high. Yeah. They're acting like, because they can see into our mind, they want to control us. Yeah. If you're a man of God, you should not tolerate that. The only entity that should control your mind is the Most High. Yeah. Anything other than that is a familiar spirit, and go and read Leviticus. Yeah. Do not allow yourselves to be mediums for familiar spirits. Yeah. The penalty for that is death, and your blood will be on your own head. Which means, if I allow people to dictate what I do in my mind, the Almighty will put me to death, and it'll be my own fault. So because I fear the Almighty more than I fear anything on earth, I'm not gonna allow for that to happen. Yeah, that's why I'm doing that. So if you do get caught up in that, that's what it means. You need to find Christ. Yeah, you need to find Christ. If we go through this war, and when I'm doing that, you seriously need to stop what you're doing if you need a steady hand. Yeah, if it affected you that way. And when I'm going through that, when you're going through that, yeah, that's the time to pray and concentrate on Christ. Concentrate on trying to bring Christ into your life. Yeah, because my heart is in the right place. I'm trying to free us from that. Yeah, from that ceiling that watches over us and tries to control us. I'm trying to free us from that. Well, I'm trying to free myself and and that. So you have to kind of like fall in line. Yeah, because I'm not gonna stop. Yeah, they're scanning me so that they can see what I'm planning to ruin my life. Yeah, the things that they score points with. Yeah, the things that they used to slander me only took place in my mind. I'm a scientist and I do it deliberately. Yeah, I never told anything about anybody about anything that goes on in my mind. And when I do tell them things that I've thought about, I note them down. But when they discuss things that I've never told any other human being, that's how I know I'm being scanned. Because your directed energy weapon can't tell you what my thoughts are. It cannot. It can give you an approximation. I'm a scientist, I know that. I do, in my scientific background, I dealt with simulations and I know how you simulate things. A simulation is not the real thing, it's an approximation. When it comes to thought, what makes up thought is so intricate. You have to put, it's like, you have to put, uh, you have to create a datum or an initial state, yeah, and just hope that everything matches because they're looking at your electric activity in your brain. They're not actually seeing your thoughts. From the electric activity, yeah, they can uh, develop a picture, but it's not gonna be the same picture because when they ask pilots to think left, yeah, this part of the brain um, lights up. So they know when they monitor your mind with DEWs, if they see this part lighting up, they know that you're thinking left. Yeah? But how do you think left? They can't see the actual image, they just see the electronic interpretation of it. No one can see your thoughts with direct energy weapons. The only ones that can see it are remote viewers. Yeah? They can deduce left, right. So that's why they hook up pilots to their helicopters and flying devices and planes, and the pilot can fly it with his mind. He thinks go left, go there, go there, because they know what that picture looks like electronically. But when you think left, what exactly is the image in your mind? They cannot see that. When you think a girl, yeah, they cannot see that. Yeah, they will say, okay, he's thinking a girl, but they cannot see the exact face, the exact human being that you're talking about. But these people discuss that like they know the exact human being that you're referring to. Yeah. So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, some people, everyone is, when you are in someone else's consciousness, you're in your spiritual form. If you're familiar to that person, you're the familiar spirit that Leviticus talks about when it says, do not become a medium for familiar spirits. And some people become negative spirits. Those are the perpetrators I'm talking about. They only scan your mind to gain an advantage. And yet, when we're in competition, yeah, I don't have the ability to scan people's mind. So the Almighty gave me this weapon. and he told me to just use that. Yeah, you're competing with someone, and he wants to know what you're gonna do about a certain situation. Yeah, so it comes into your mind. Yeah, to see you assessing, to see the whole process. Yeah, he remote views your mind and sees the whole process, how you intend to compete with him. Yeah, then reacts by asking the system to sabotage everything that you do. Yeah, as soon as the scanning starts, the meditation will start. If anybody else gets caught up in it, yeah, I'm doing this for me. It just happens that what I'm doing for myself is in line with Christ, with what Christ wants. Yeah. So I just wanted to let targeted individuals know that if you are being familiar spirits to others, try and stop yourselves from doing that, because it doesn't help matters. And also, if it's something you can't help doing, yeah, then think of Christ, because this has to be done. Mhm. I'm not targeting you. Yeah, I wouldn't expect you to be perpetrating on me. I'm targeting anyone who's perpetrating on me, anyone who's in there at that time. Not even friends or family mean anything to me, because this is for the Most High. When it comes to the Most High, the first 3 or 4 commandments concern the Most High. Then the rest of the commandments are for the people. But when the Most High wants, you have to put everyone, even friends and family, yeah, aside for the Most High. Yeah, He comes before everything else. Yeah, when anyone comes into my mind, yeah, even if you're familiar to me, yeah, even if you're familiar to me, even if I sense, oh, this is my friend, even if it's that, you come into my mind, I start meditating, you start convulsing. Yeah, so if I was you, yeah, I wouldn't go in there. Mm? But if you can't help it, and it's the Most High that did it to you, as in it's natural to you, yeah, then let this message, yeah, be useful advice. If you do start to feel an energy from me, and it starts to adversely affect you, yeah, stop what you're doing, start to think about Christ, yeah, pray and meditate, yeah, because that's a battle. Yeah, there's the war. There's a war. There's a spiritual war going on, and that's a battle taking place. Just know that another TI out there is battling these beasts. Yeah, I told you I will fight, and we're not talking about conventional fighting here. Yeah, it's not conventional what I do, but it's a fight. Yeah, I'm starting with the remote viewers, mm? because that's divination, and I won't be a medium to them. So I'm starting with those. Yeah, and I'm watching nature to see if the physical world is affected by what I'm doing in my mind. So if you look at my playlist, the one that I call experimental data, there are signs, but as a scientist, I can't conclude that it's what I'm doing in my mind that's causing it. Hmm? But then again, you will say it can't be coincidence all the time that when you meditate, that happens. Yeah, yeah, and the system somehow got to hack into my computer, and I put that video up as well. And they because I would run a virus scanner before I start to make sure that it's not the computer that's messing up, and the virus scanner refused to run. So that means that they were sabotaging the data, the experimental data I was getting. So I couldn't use anything after that. They obviously tweaked my timer to behave different. Maybe they put it on some kind of buffer or delay, and they fix it before it displays. But so The time I'm watching, I can't even trust that anymore. Yeah. Yeah, the fact that they had to react like that means it just leaves. I can't conclude as a scientist. I don't have any conclude. I don't know for definite if what I'm doing is affecting the physical world. I've got lots of data, but I can't conclude for definite. As a scientist, I don't want to conclude on a maybe. It's got to be proper, definite. But I have seen remote viewers experiencing adverse side effects when I'm meditating. Some people will even shout out loud, "Stop doing that." Where I'm sitting there doing that, and someone shouts at me, "Stop doing that." Look at me in the camera. Yeah? Can you see me doing anything? So if someone shouts at me, "Stop doing that," what am I doing? The only thing I'm doing is in my mind. That is proof that that person is scanning my mind, because the only thing I'm doing, if I'm sitting like this, is in my mind. Doing is what you do, is speaking, moving your hands. I'm not moving my hands, I'm just doing this and meditating in my mind. If somebody says stop doing that when I'm sitting like this doing nothing, they must be referring to what's happening in my mind. So it does irritate them. I've noticed that. Okay? The Almighty made it very, very simple for me. I can do this meditation, yeah, and get on with other aspects of my life. Okay? I call it zapping. I can zap them and get on with other things at the time. I can do it when I'm sleeping. I can do it when I'm on the toilet. I can do it when I'm eating. He made it very, very simple for me. Yeah? But I just wanted you targeted individuals to take care. I've even seen animals convulsing. Yeah? When it comes to the Most High, we're not talking about the story that they told, where they put in lies in the scripture, so they know that they're the ones who put in the lie. What they did, they took the truth that the Jews had and they added in lies, and they told us to believe in the lies. So when they tell you that the scripture is a lie, they're referring to the lies they put in. But the truth that they were working with is still there. Yeah? It's still there. That truth there is what I'm talking about. All right? The Almighty is real. And Jesus said we're all gods, meaning we all have innate abilities. Yeah? We all have abilities in our minds. Okay? So I wanted to make this video. I've started meditating again. And again, if it's affecting you, just stop what you're doing and just think about Christ. Yeah. And just know that I'm doing this for you as well. I'm doing this for everyone who feels targeted. Yeah. Everyone who feels that they don't even have privacy in their own mind. Yeah. Not really from direct energy attacks, but from remote viewers. Yeah. And where you know that what you've just thought in your head is going to be used politically against you. Do you ever get that feeling that, oh my God, what I'm thinking now, somebody's just seen it and they're going to use it against me? You shouldn't have to feel like that in your own head. Yeah. That's why I'm doing this. Okay? We shouldn't have to feel like that. Mhm. Yeah. So, witchcraft. Yeah, they do. They do. You could call it that. But remember, they put that in our scripture because we're using holy water now. Those are things that people who do witchcraft use. Yeah. We're using frankincense and myrrh. Those are things that people who do witchcraft use. Yeah. Most of the techniques we use, before there was religion, there was witchcraft. So the difference between witchcraft and religion, paganism and religion, is that we're doing it for the Lord and they're doing it for other. I don't know what the other is. Yeah. Remote viewing is a form of witchcraft. It is a high form of witchcraft, but it could be a natural ability. So I'm not, as a scientist, I'm not sure. Yeah. I just know that if your heart is in the right place, what you're experiencing is for the greater good. Yeah. Okay. If it heals you, then the better. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So thank you, Donna. I'm saying if you, I find if you do the opposite of what you thought of, it throws them off. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Right. Things like that, little tricks like that. This is just one of them little tricks. Yeah. Even exorcism, throwing holy water on someone is just one of them little tricks. Yeah. I'm just defending, but I'm just saying if you get caught up in it, yeah, then you have to figure out how to be during that time because I don't stop until whatever is scanning me either leaves my mind or drops down dead. And I won't stop until he or she leaves, drops down dead, or I die. Yeah. So that's how I feel about like my belief in the Most High. If you're scanning me, I will zap you in my mind until either you die, I die, or you fuck off from there. Yeah. So um, if you're a TI that gets caught up in that, that's what's happening. All right. So that's what I wanted to add here. Mhm. Jesus knows our heart, so he knows that. All right. I remember one time I was sitting there, and then I started off fooling around. Yeah, I started making hissing sounds, like, and before I know it, I started to develop a language. Yeah, it sounded like Farsi, Aramaic, one of them hissing sound languages. Then I started to scratch the skin of my my hand. Yeah. So then I realized what I was doing. So I stopped speaking in tongues and I started meditating, and whatever it was went away. Yeah, because when you speak in tongues, Jesus and when you take on someone's God, you also take on their devil. So in these times, it's going to be confusing. Jesus and the devil are going to sound alike. Yeah, they would have been speaking the same tongue. Because for him to talk to him in the desert, he must be speaking the same tongue. So I don't know if that was Christ that was zapping or the devil. But either way, yeah, Christ knows now, I think, that if you come into my mind, I will not tolerate that. So maybe that was a test. I started speaking in tongues, and I said, nah, I'm exercising that. I'm going to meditate using this energy in my mind to get rid of that. And it left my mind. If it was Christ I was exercising or the devil, I don't know. But whatever it is, it's like this, yeah. If you destroy everything in your mind, you can't destroy the Almighty. Yeah? You can destroy everything else, but you can never destroy the Almighty. So you don't have to worry about destroying the Almighty in your mind. Yeah? You destroy everything that frequents your mind. If it's the Almighty, he'll survive. If it's not, he'll die. If it's somebody who thinks it's the Almighty, they'll die. Yeah? That's what's happening. Yeah? That's it. It's very important, Donna, to block your mind, to block them from seeing your mind, because you don't want them to see what you're planning now. You don't want them to see how you plan to fight back. Yeah, it's very important to keep your mind clear. Yeah, okay, that's what I wanted to say. Yeah, I'm gonna end this. It's gone on for quite a while now. Yeah, but thank you for watching. All right, and I hope you understand. I'm still meditating, by the way. Yeah, like I told you, I can do it. You won't even know. Yeah, you just sense it. Yeah, and Donna, you're very positive. Stay positive. Yeah, yeah. I hope it serves as a healing to you. Yeah, like I do get adverse effects, physical effects when I'm doing it, but it's worth it because I'm not gonna live a life like that. I'm not gonna live that kind of life where somebody's dictating to me what I'm doing in my mind. That's just not happening. Yeah. So it's a spiritual war, and it's gonna be like that. So I just wanted to put that message out that if you're experiencing it, yeah, it's for the greater good. It's for the good of mankind. Donna, we'll speak soon. Otherwise, good night.